If we as a government can make a one-to-one swap for tax dollars versus supplementing it via franchise fee, the net result would be a residential homeowner, a normal person in Palm Coast, actually having their overall tax burden reduced.
The Palm Coast City Council has approved conditions for an electric franchise fee, but don't expect to see one on your utility bill anytime soon. The resolution approved this week by the Palm Coast City Council would give voters the power to decide through a public referendum whether to implement a franchise fee. Councilman Nick Kloufis cast a lone vote of dissension, but he says he's not opposed to a franchise fee and believes it would actually reduce your taxes.
A franchise fee has become highly politicized, and it's being described as another tax, when in reality, what a franchise fee does is it enables a municipality to be able to collect a revenue share from some of the biggest establishments in our community that don't pay taxes, such as our hospitals and our churches, which today don't pay any taxes to Palm Coast.
And what of the argument that the fees will just be passed down to consumers?
One of the arguments is that the cost would inevitably get passed through to the consumer, but that's not what we see. At a larger scale, it's normalized across an entire franchise. So if you say we go to a Walmart here locally in Palm Coast where there is no franchise fee, that goods would be actually less expensive in our Walmart compared going to the Walmart in Ormond Beach because they implement a franchise fee. What happens in reality is that these costs are normalized across an entire company, and that's why goods cost the same from one store to another, not because there's localized taxes that are being passed through down to the consumer.
Kloufis says franchise fees are becoming more popular as cities struggle to cover their budgets.
This is why it's so popular. I think 64 other cities that do it. Flagler Beach implements one. Bunnell has a franchise fee. This is a very popular way for cities to be able to diversify their revenues, and if implemented correctly and responsibly, we can educate the people of Palm Coast that we are able to implement a franchise fee that actually ends up saving them money as a net result.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Friday, June 21st. Can't build a house without a transformer.
If you're building a new house, you need a transformer.
Since 2020, prices have increased on transformers by 72%. Wait times for transformers often range from 12 to 24 months.
Anna Maria Long is with the Flagler Home Builders Association. She went with the group to the National Association of Home Builders meeting with lawmakers in Washington, D.C. last week. Long relayed the case of all the finished Florida homes that could not be sold.
An entire housing development was built. All the homes were done, ready to be sold, except they couldn't sell a single one of them because they still didn't have power because there were no transformers.
Real Estate Matters with host Toby Tobin is on WNZF at 11 on Saturday mornings, and it's on the Flagler radio app. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
This local news is a service of your hometown Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
Hi, Palm Coast. This is Ty Miller. I'm thrilled to announce my candidacy for Palm Coast City Council.
We're hearing from another candidate running to represent District 1 on the Palm Coast City Council.
Ty Miller is a native Floridian who's called Palm Coast home since 1998.
I hold degrees in communication and business from the University of Central Florida and a master's in business from the University of Florida.
He's also a veteran with multiple deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan.
My value proposition is simple: leadership and integrity. I learned leadership in the greatest proving ground, the Marine Corps. My pledge to you is unwavering. I will always operate in the best interests of the people of Palm Coast. With my business and finance background, I will be fiscally responsible and cut wasteful spending. So we will no longer be asked to pay more taxes year after year.
Miller says if elected, he will support local law enforcement and first responders.
Additionally, I will work to get our infrastructure maintenance back on track, focusing on accountability and securing funding by expanding our commercial tax base so we, the residents, no longer bear that burden alone.
Miller says he's a family man running to make Palm Coast a better place.
Palm Coast is an amazing place to live, work, and raise a family together. We can make it even better. Let's ensure a brighter, more prosperous future for our community.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Daryl Moody.
Plenty of family fun going on this weekend in Flagler County. This is Stacy with Fun for Augie Kids.
Fitzgerald's Performing Arts Center hosts Alice in Wonderland Jr. Fall down the rabbit hole with Alice as she navigates the curious world of Wonderland on a journey of self-discovery. Benell Range is hosting a Troop 472 spaghetti dinner fundraiser. Troop 472 is trying to raise money for summer camp at Camp Daniel Boone in Boone, North Carolina this year. This is their last big fundraiser to help these scouts make it to camp. Come into Michael's for a fun, free kids craft class. Your kids will be making pom-pom butterfly wreaths. Join Flagler Mosquito Control at the Flagler County Library for a special STEAM program by Nicole Graves. This free event is for children of all ages with their favorite adult. For more on these events and others, please visit us on our website at fun4augiekids.com. Have a great weekend.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Lee Show with your WNZF local sports update.
It was the first day of summer, and entering Thursday afternoon, the Tampa Bay Rays and Minnesota Twins had split the first two games of their series in Minneapolis.
That will give the Rays the lead. Another hard hit for Rosarena drives in Josh Lowe and Randy into second. Back-to-back doubles for the Rays, and they lead 1-0.
Late in the game, the Rays' bats got hot.
Down the left field line, that's in there, and the Rays take the lead here in the 8th inning.
That double by Ahmed Rosario gave Tampa a 3-2 lead in the 8th.
Siri the batter as we start the 9th inning. Oh boy, to deep left field. Siri provides insurance off the ribbon board, and the Rays lead it 4-2.
The Rays needed that insurance and more. Later in the inning, Yandy Diaz's two-run homer made it 6-2, but the Twins came back with four of their own in the bottom of the 9th. With one out in the 10th, Johnny DeLuca stepped up.
Up the middle, base hit. Here comes Wells around third. The throw by Buxton is offline as Johnny DeLuca has given the Rays a 7-6 lead.
Pete Fairbanks worked the scoreless frame in the bottom of the 10th to give Tampa a 7-6 win. They've won 2 in a row after losing 8 of the previous 11. They head to Pittsburgh for a weekend till tonight. The Miami Marlins snapped a 6-game losing streak with back-to-back wins against St. Louis. After a day off yesterday, they begin a 3-game series against Seattle at home tonight. The Florida Panthers are reeling after back-to-back losses in the Stanley Cup Final. The Edmonton Oilers are home tonight trying to force Game 7. Oilers coach Chris Knobloch says his team has nothing to lose.
I think right now we're playing on house money. No one expected us to be here right now. No one gave us an opportunity, maybe even to be in the Stanley Cup Final.
Panther coach Paul Maurice says pressure is not an issue.
I'm not trying to fight the word pressure. There's certainly lots of energy to be had.
Puck drops at 8.
When I went to Georgia, I just totally fell in love.
Pirate volleyball player Rylan Miller made her commitment to Georgia last week. Hear my full interview on tomorrow's Rich and Mike Sports Show, 7:30 a.m. here, and always on the Flagler Radio app. WNZF is your home for local sports, with updates Mondays and Fridays. From the sports desk, I'm Mike Licio.